Right now, there's a stock trading at its cheapest valuation in years. Institutions are quietly loading up on it, and most retail traders have no idea it's happening. We're going to name it. But first, 3 other names on this list might genuinely wreck your portfolio if you buy them at these prices, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. This is Ticker Hawk, and today we're doing something different. No fence sitting, no do your own research and figure it out. Every stock on this list gets a clear verdict buy or stay away with the actual numbers behind it. If that's the kind of straight talk you want every week, go ahead and hit subscribe now so you don't miss the next one, because some of these calls are going to be uncomfortable. Let's start with the market backdrop, because it matters for every single pick today. The S&P 500 just pulled back to its 21-day moving average after touching new all-time highs, and earnings season has been about as strong as it gets. More than 9 out of every 10 S&P 500 companies have already reported, and roughly 87% of them beat expectations. That's a genuinely great backdrop. But we're heading into September and October, historically the 2 roughest months of the year for stocks, and this happens to be a midterm election year, which historically amplifies the volatility even more. On top of that, there's chatter that the Treasury could step in with a massive bond buyback program to try to bring long-term yields down, which is a signal in itself that something in the credit markets is stretched tighter than most people realize. So context matters here. Some of these buys are buy on the dip plays, not buy no matter what happens next month plays. And I want you thinking about position sizing the entire way through this list, not just which names to own. First up, Amazon, ticker AMZN. This is our first clear buy, and here's why. Amazon just posted $62 billion in net income in a single quarter, which pushed earnings per share to $5.82. That's such a big beat that the trailing valuation looks almost expensive at a price-to-earnings ratio near 34, while the forward number, based on where analysts expect earnings to land next year, is actually lower at around 24 because the market hasn't fully caught up to how much money this company just made. AWS, the cloud division, now has a backlog approaching $500 billion. And Amazon's own executives have said cloud capacity is essentially sold out through 2026, deep into 2027, with early commitments already coming in for 2028. When a company's biggest growth engine is sold out 3 years in advance, that's not hype. That's demand nobody can fake. This is also a stock big institutional names have been piling into recently, with some major funds multiplying their position size several times over in the last quarter alone. That kind of conviction from professional money managers, sitting alongside numbers this strong, is exactly the combination I look for before calling something a high confidence buy rather than just a decent one. Ticker Hawk's take. Amazon is a buy here, plain and simple. Now, here's one people keep asking me about, and I'm going to disagree with the crowd. Walmart, ticker WMT. Walmart dropped about 10% in a single week recently and sits roughly 24% off its highs. Normally, when a quality retailer falls that fast, that's exactly the kind of dip I'd tell you to buy. But look closer at why it dropped. Management cut guidance for the next quarter and openly said their core customer is under financial pressure. That's not noise. That's a warning about the actual American consumer. And it's worth sitting with for a second because Walmart's customer base is about as close to a mirror of the broader economy as you can get. And here's the number that should give you pause. Walmart is currently trading at a price-to-earnings ratio in the mid-30s. Historically, Walmart traded like a boring value stock with a PE in the 20s. The market has been pricing Walmart like a growth stock while the company itself just told you its shoppers are pulling back. Until that valuation resets closer to the high 70s per share, which would represent real pain, something like a 40% drop from the highs, I'm not touching this one. Ticker Hawk's take. Walmart is a stock to avoid for now, and I'd rather watch it fall further than catch this particular falling knife. Let's talk about one. Most people are sleeping on Uber. Ticker Uber. This one's a buy, and it's not close. Uber just crossed $10 billion in annual free cash flow for the very first time in its history, alongside record revenue and record gross profit, all while carrying a conservative debt-to-equity ratio around 0.5. It's growing revenue at roughly 36% a year over the past 5 years and generating a return on invested capital near 13%. And yet, it's trading at a price-to-earnings ratio around 17, which, for a company putting up numbers like that, is genuinely cheap. On top of that, Uber just broke out of a long-term downtrend that had been dragging the stock down since last October, and it hasn't even started meaningfully tapping into newer markets that could expand how big this company can get. Big-name investors have been increasing their stakes here too. If you want a company breaking records while still trading like it's overlooked, this is it. And I'd argue it's one of the more asymmetric setups on this entire list, because the downside looks limited while the upside case keeps getting stronger every quarter. Curious what you think. Drop a comment and tell me if you already own this one, because I want to see how many of you caught this move early. Here's a stock that's been stuck going sideways for over a year and everybody's lost patience with it. Meta, ticker Meta. I get the frustration, but the numbers tell a different story than the price action does. Meta has been trading in a tight wedge pattern since roughly last spring, but it's sitting at one of the cheapest valuations of its entire public life, with a price-to-earnings ratio around 16. Its return on invested capital is sitting at a strong 17%. Revenue and gross profit are both at all-time highs, and its 10-year revenue growth rate is around 27% annually. Yes, Meta has a reputation for burning cash on side projects, and yes, rising spending on AI infrastructure is squeezing free cash flow. Right now, the same problem hitting most of the big tech names, but that's exactly why the stock is cheap. The market is discounting it for a problem that's temporary while the core business keeps printing record numbers, and history has shown that once these capex cycles peak, the stocks that get punished the hardest for spending often bounce back the fastest once the spending shows up as actual revenue. Ticker Hawk's take, Meta is a buy. And I think patience here gets rewarded once that capital spending problem eases. Now let's get into one that's more complicated. And I want to be honest about the risk. Intel, ticker INTC. Intel's own CEO just made his largest personal stock purchase ever, buying in around $95 a share. While the stock currently sits closer to $87, so insiders think it's undervalued, right, where it's trading today. And insider buying at that scale from the person running the company is not something to just glance past. Technically, there's a support zone in the low 80s with an earnings gap sitting right there too. And if it breaks, the 200-day moving average isn't too far below as a next line of defense. Here's the real story though. Intel is transforming from just building its own chips into becoming a contract manufacturer for other companies, essentially trying to become a Western alternative to the dominant Taiwanese foundry giant. That shift, combined with rising CPU demand tied to the AI build-out and a 10% equity stake the US government now holds in the company for national security reasons, makes Intel a strategically protected asset in a way most stocks simply aren't. It's not going to show up cleanly in the earnings numbers, yet the forward valuation only recently turned positive after being negative for a while. Ticker Hawk's take, Intel is a buy for patient long-term money. But don't be shocked if it dips toward the low 70s first before the story plays out. If you're not comfortable holding through more volatility, size this position small and treat it more like a multi-year bet on a turnaround than a quick trade. And we need to talk about Netflix too, ticker NFLX, because this one snuck up on a lot of people. After dropping nearly 50% from its all-time highs at one point, Netflix found support at a level that used to be resistance, always a bullish technical signal, and it's been rebuilding from there. The fundamentals back it up. Return on invested capital sitting at an impressive 24%, 10-year revenue growth close to 21% a year, a clean balance sheet with debt to equity under 0.5, and record revenue, gross profit, and margins across the board. It's currently trading around a 24 price to earnings ratio, up from the high teens not long ago, which tells you the market is already starting to reward the turnaround. Ticker Hawk's take, Netflix is a buy, though I'd treat it as a smaller position you build over the next few earnings reports rather than an all-in bet. Today, it likely needs another quarter or two of proof before it challenges its old highs again. Next up, Alphabet, ticker Google, and this is one of the most mispriced mega caps on the entire market right now. It's trading at a price-to-earnings ratio around 22 to 24, genuinely low for a company of this size and quality, for basically the same reason as Amazon and Meta. Heavy AI infrastructure spending is temporarily eating into free cash flow. Strip that out and look at the fundamentals. A 10-year revenue growth rate around 18% annually, a return on invested capital still holding at 15% after all these years as a public company, a rock-solid balance sheet with debt to equity under 0.2, and a cloud backlog north of $500 billion driven by both cloud services and its own custom AI chips. Very few companies this size can say their growth engine is that far ahead of what the stock price currently reflects. Ticker Hawk's take, Alphabet is a buy, and it might be the single best risk-adjusted mega cap on this entire list. Okay, now the one everybody's actually been waiting for. NVIDIA, ticker NVDA, reporting earnings this week, and arguably the single most important print of the entire quarter for the whole market. Options pricing currently implies a swing of roughly plus or minus 6% on the earnings reaction. Here's the part most people don't know historically. NVIDIA usually doesn't move as much as options traders expect. That mismatch is exactly why sophisticated traders lean towards selling premium instead of guessing direction, because the stock has a track record of landing inside that expected range more often than not. There's also breaking news that NVIDIA is raising prices by around 15%, but that's them passing along higher memory costs to customers, not a sign of expanding margins. So don't mistake that headline for bullish news until it actually shows up in the earnings themselves. Ticker Hawk's take: I'm not calling NVIDIA a straight buy or avoid into this print. I'm calling it a stock, where the smart move is managing the earnings. Event itself carefully rather than making a directional bet, because the setup favors patience over conviction right before the number drops. Since we're already on the topic of institutional money moving into unexpected places, let's talk about Bloom Energy, ticker BE, because this is the kind of stock most people have never even glanced at. There's been a noticeable wave of institutional and even political buying into the power and energy space lately, tied directly to the fact that electricity generation, not chips, is becoming the real bottleneck for the entire AI build-out. Bloom Energy recently retested a demand zone that used to be both an old all-time high and a consolidation area, and if it breaks above the trend line currently capping it, this stock has real room to run toward new highs. Just know going in that it's a high beta name, meaning it will swing harder than the broader market in both directions. So this is a smaller, higher risk buy, not a core, holding you bet the farm on. If energy plays like this interest you, let me know in the comments, because there are 2 or 3 more names in this space I haven't even covered yet, and might make an entire separate video on. Let's zoom out for a second, because picking individual names only works if you're paying attention to the bigger picture too. We're heading into a stretch of the calendar that historically produces spikes in the VIX, the market's fear gauge, especially in midterm election years like this one. 2018 and 2022 both saw exactly this pattern play out in September and October. And here's the thing that surprises people. Your returns are historically far better when you buy during those fear spikes than when you buy during calm, complacent markets. The VIX sitting in the mid-teens right now is calm. If we get a spike toward the 25 to 30 range this fall, which has happened in prior midterm years, that's historically been a gift for buyers. Not a reason to panic and sell everything you own. Keep that number in the back of your mind, because when the headlines start sounding scary this fall, that's usually closer to the buying window than the exit door. So let's bring it all together. On the buy side, Ticker Hawk is bullish on Amazon, Uber, Meta, Intel for patient money. Netflix is a smaller building position, Alphabet and Bloom Energy as a higher risk energy play riding the power demand wave. On the avoid side, Walmart stays on the sidelines until that valuation actually resets to match what management just told us about their own customers. And NVIDIA earnings this week deserve caution and careful positioning rather than a blind directional bet either way. None of this is personalized financial advice. These are Ticker Hawk's own reads on the numbers. And you should always weigh your own situation, risk tolerance, and time horizon before putting real money behind any of it. Before you go, tell me which one of these you're actually watching closest right now. Intel's turnaround story, Uber's breakout, or NVIDIA's earnings this week. Drop it in the comments, because I read every single one and it genuinely shapes what we cover next. And if this saved you from chasing Walmart at the wrong price or pointed you toward a name like Uber or Bloom Energy you hadn't considered, do me a favor and share it with someone who's still guessing instead of using real numbers. September and October are about to get loud, earnings season is still unfolding, and the next few weeks are going to separate the traders who stayed disciplined from the ones who panicked at exactly the wrong moment. Ticker Hawk will be back with the next breakdown before that happens. Subscribe now so you're not scrambling to catch up when it drops. Stay sharp out there.